Oh, joy, I get to fucking talk about this. Hey, everybody, it's Hawk here. And, it's been a bit. I was planning on making some deck list videos, and then I just never got around to it. I got busy with life and whatnot. But, I'm here to deal with the current speed issue. Alright, now you've probably all heard that, oh my god, midterm destruction's been cancelled in the EU. Speed is dead. Now, hearing speed is dead is entirely normal if you hang out in the Speed Duel community at all. Basically, in between every single box, if we don't hear an announcement within like a month or two of the other box, a big chunk of the community freaks the fuck out and assumes that Speed Duels is deceased. No, okay? No, it's not. Sky, stop that. Nothing's been canceled. Okay? I would like to stress this. It was never announced in the EU. Midterm destruction isn't cancelled there. It was never announced. Now that's weird. Okay? I'm not going to pretend that that's normal. That's fucking strange as hell. STP-7 isn't technically announced there either, but it's accessible on their site, but not via the menu. So the page exists. It's fucking weird, okay? For instance, we also found that there is a Portuguese version of Midterm Destructions, presumably for Latin America, because you access it from the US site. Okay, so I don't know what the fuck's going on with that. I don't know why it's not there or has been announced yet. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I'm going to assume somebody in corporate fucked up, or there's supply issues or something, because, I mean, Konami kind of ran at, like, 1,000,000 miles an hour last year and released way too much shit. So they're probably slowing down. They might have tapped out about more resources than we know. So that could be causing issues. I don't know what their issues are in the EU, okay? I have no idea. All I know is, it's not canceled. Calm the fuck down. Speed is not dead, alright? This is the same conversation we have every time there's a box. Now, as I said, it's weird, sure, but it could just be delayed. The reason I'm saying that is, do you want to know what else hasn't been announced in the EU? A fucking YCS this year. Yeah, they don't have a YCS scheduled yet. Don't you think that's a little weird too? Alright, so I don't think that this midterm destruction thing is so odd, because it's not in isolation. There's no YCSs scheduled over there either, which is honestly weirder to me. So something is going on in the Konami EU office. Couldn't fucking tell you what. Just something's happening over there. But if you happen to speak English or Portuguese, I would also presume there's a Spanish one coming if a Portuguese one's coming for Latin America. So if you speak one of those three languages, congratulations, you can get a box. You just have to buy it from overseas, which sucks ass. I'm sorry about the shipping costs coming to you. But it's not dead. I mean, fuck, the EU didn't update the damn ban list yet. I have no idea what's going on over there. Something's going on in EU Konami, okay? You can go and think about that, but it's not in isolation to Speed, okay? It's not like it's, just Speed Duels having weirdness. Again, see the YCS thing. And on top of that, that's the Speed Duel Midterm Paradox, Midterm Destructions, I'm talking too fast. Midterm Destruction is the only thing in March being released by Konami for Yu-Gi-Oh! Just as an FYI, so they slowed way the hell down, okay? Now I have another point here, beyond just telling everyone to calm the fuck down and relax, and that is all the people going, yay, Speed's dead, we can get Rush now. Shut the fuck up. Okay, just shut up. Speed is not preventing you from getting Rush Duels, okay? They're not the same thing. That'd be like going, God, I can't get Capsule Monsters because we have Speed Duels. They're not the same game, okay? Rush and Speed play wildly differently from each other. And on top of that, 90% of you saying it wouldn't pick the fucker up anyway. I know I sound really irritated, but that's because I kind of am. Because, do you want to know what happened? You wouldn't get the good version of Rush that currently exists. And I say good because I don't really think Rush is all that great of a game. I have fundamental issues with basic game mechanics in it. But, okay, I could see the appeal of Rush to people. When I look at what Rush is. The new magnet stuff's kind of fun. I'm like, oh, you're kind of doing the same thing we do in Speed. I'm just channeling out Valkyrion. The difference is it's a fusion now. That's neat. So there's a fun little fusion thing you get to go do with the magnets, and they've got a level 7 guy in there, and they've got some neat back row stuff. Like, that's fun. Okay, that's cool. That's not what you're getting. That isn't what they'd give you. You'd get the crap at the beginning. You'd be summoning fucking Bean Soldier in attack mode. That's it. You would be summoning a bunch of 1,500 vanilla dinguses, and that's what you would be playing. You'd be playing a rough tribal deck against each other. And not a fucking one of you is going to stick through that. Do you want to know why I know that? Because that's what Speed started at, and all of you bitched about it. Except there's even less going on because there's not skills to try to spruce things up a little bit. You don't have King of the Skull Servants in the first set, making things a little more interesting. You don't have the Gravekeepers. You don't have any of that. It's a bunch of vanilla dumbasses and some traps. So none of you would do that. Some of you might stick around, and to those of you who do, you're the ones who actually want Rush Duels, and I do hope you get it. I truly do hope that the people who want Rush and are going to stick around and play the game more than twice and then ignore it for all of time and then wonder why the fuck it died, actually get it. Because you want it, and you do want to stick around and build something and play it. To the rest of you, I don't care. You'd talk about it, you'd play it 2 or 3 times, and then you'd drop it, and then be shocked in 2 years when it's dead. Because that's what happens. Alright, and it kind of annoys me, because I don't much care to play Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! I do. I'm fucking around at locals. I'm playing random garbage, okay? I'm not playing actual shit. I'm not spending $1,200 to play fucking Snake Eyes Fire Kings. It's not happening. I'm playing dumb crap, man. I'm playing Earthbound Resonators. I'm playing fucking ninjas. I'm playing stuff that costs me $20. Alright? Because I happen to have a bunch of hand traps from back in the day when they weren't as expensive, depending on which ones we're talking about. Basically, I have all the Dual Devastator shit. So, I can play a bunch of modern stuff, in quotes. I'm not always playing Nerf stuff, because I don't care. Speed Duels is what I actually play, and now I also play Edison, because Edison is reasonably cheap, because I play off-meta stuff. You know, like plants and whatnot. Though there's some weird stuff in there that's like $8 a card for some stupid reason. Anyway, that's fine. That's all wonderful. But the advanced tone? Thankfully not in my area. In my area, most people are pretty open to not caring what the hell you do with your thing. But the general tone I hear on the internet is, well, what does it fucking matter? It's baby bitch Yu-Gi-Oh! And then these same people wonder, well, why the fuck doesn't Yu-Gi-Oh! Has other formats? You are the fucking reason! When anyone complains about how fast the game has gotten, or the complexity, or the legitimate complaints with things like pendulums or links, pendulums, it's mostly a theory problem with, it's the fact that 90% of them aren't broken, but it's the fact that if they're ever good, they tend to be busted out the ass, or they're dog shit. I mean, a perfect example of this is, they were amazing before Electromite, and then after Electromite, they were dog shit. They hinge upon one card. That's an issue fundamentally with pendulums, okay? Links I have issues with mechanically just because they force a shitload of special summons to occur in the game in order to get to any of the high ones. Like, you need to summon way more times to get to a Link 4 than you would to get to a, like, level 8 Synchro, who is about roughly on par with your average Link 4. I say roughly. I'm comparing this to something like Borreload. Alright? So, though, like, people have complaints about that. The problem is they get called a fucking Yugi Boomer when they have issues with these things. Alright? Now, some of them probably are Yugi Boomers, though quite frankly I'm starting to think that that actual term is just bullshit. Okay? Because the actual Yugi Boomers, who actually refuse to engage with those things, and still play the game, an actual key point here, are probably playing Goat or Reaper. And Reaper's kind of a small niche group, but I bet people are doing that instead of going off and playing other shit, okay? Because otherwise, they're like, oh man, this all sucks. Do they actually play? Because if they don't buy anything, I don't give a fuck what their opinion is. If they don't buy any cards, or play online, or do anything like that, I don't care. Yeah, there's the great meme on Dueling Book of, no, this, and this. That's like one guy. It's like a person out of the literal tens of thousands of people who will go on that site on a day-to-day basis and go play something. It's such a tiny number of people, and yet it's a fucking brain worm in the Yugi sphere. and I don't understand it at this point. Okay? Like, I get it. Speed Duels is not for everyone. I fucking love Speed Duels. Alright, I have my criticisms of this game, primarily the fact that they're too married to the anime. That's probably my biggest one. I would like some more non-anime shit getting in here, please. But I don't care that it's older and slow. I want to go back to one-for-one trading being the way you do things, because it's a big resource thing. This is also why I don't like rush duels, because when you refill your fucking hand every turn, there's no reason to really conserve resources. Alright, like, I know someone in the comments is going to tell me about how Rush actually has resource conservation, and I'm sure it's in there, but you can't tell me it's the same comparison between Speed, where you draw 1 card, and Rush, where you get to draw 5. Alright, it is a wildly different resource game, and it's just kind of silly to me. Just my personal complaints with it as a base mechanic level. Okay? And somebody wanting to go back to a more slower, one-for-one, normal summon-oriented game is not wrong. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was that for most of its existence. Alright? Just go, for an example, go watch any episode of History of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Simo and Joseph. And I'm talking like you go deep into Xyz. You can get deep into fucking Zexal. I mean, hell, you could almost get into Pevin, you get into, like, Pevs. We're talking, it's like fucking 2014, 2015. Like, we're deep in this shit. And outside of a couple of metas, if you drew a hand and you couldn't do anything other than set 2 cards pass, you weren't dead. Probably. I mean, if someone was playing an actual dedicated OTK deck, you were probably dead, but that's not my point. Most decks don't have this problem. I happen to remember in an episode, he was playing the Geargia deck, and he didn't do great. I think he drew, like, Arsenal in a back row, and he set 2. And he, I think, wound up winning that game. And I was like, holy shit, it's like 2014. Might have been 2013, I can't remember the actual year. But it's like, we're this far into Yu-Gi-Oh! And you could just keep doing this. And it's not optimal, it's not ideal at this point, but you're not going to die. And you're not even guaranteed to lose when that happens to you. You can still live long enough and maybe get enough stuff going that you can win. You're on the back foot and it's not great, but that's my point. That happens to you now, you're fucking dead. Unless your opponent bricked to high hell, you are deceased. And I get why people don't like that. I get why people don't like watching a Snake Eyes combo happen. Because honestly, Snake Eyes is not... It's not exactly great card design. I mean, it's a lot less irritating than a bunch of the other ones. But frankly, Snake Eyes is not healthy game design. Alright? The amount of grind that shit has, on top of how much of a board you get with it, is not good. Alright? So that's why we are technically in a tier 0 format, because Snake Eyes in the top 2 decks. You can argue it, it's like a tier half, because Fire King Snake Eyes is technically a different deck. You get what I mean? I'm getting largely off topic here. But my point is there's nothing wrong with not wanting to do that. Okay? Like, Magic the Gathering recognizes this. It's why Magic has all of them, and then it has Standard. Oh, is that one Standard? I can't remember the names. There's Modern, Standard, and then there's, what is it, fucking Vintage? And Vintage is the Crazy Man game. Like, there's that, then you have fucking, Commander, then there's Arch Nemesis. Like, that's what it's called. It's the one where it's, what, like, 2 plus V1. That was weird. It's fucking great, but it's weird. 2-headed giant. Like, there's so many ways to play Magic, and then Yu-Gi-Oh! Has... We have, like, 2. I mean, 3, technically, because, you know, Time Wizard. But Time Wizard is literally just picking a different ban list and card pool. Which is fine. I think that's great. But I'm just saying, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a fucking problem here. Because you try getting some brand new kid who's like 10 into this game, and then trying to explain a modern deck to them. Alright? And it's not because the kid's dumb. It's because modern decks are fucking complicated. Alright? Even simple shit, like what I'm doing with Earthbound Resonators, this isn't complicated. The plan is simple. You just go make an idiot. So you try to get into freaking Geo Griffin, and then you're trying to get into a position where you can either I mean, you're getting the Geogriffin one way or the other. You're either resolving harmonic synchro fusion, or you're just getting there normally, and then you're getting the level 5 dumbass out of the grave, and then during the battle phase, you're going to fusion into Grasha and then nuke the damn board. Cool. Like, that's a fun deck, but it's like, there's a whole bunch of steps in here that get kind of weird, and honestly, some of the cards are kind of odd, and it's a fairly straightforward deck. I'm sure I could get a 10-year-old to understand the combo line reasonably easily. It's just there's a lot of weird moving parts in this. But you want to know what I can definitely explain to a fucking 10-year-old kid? I could explain magnets to him. I could explain dark scorpions to him in Speed Duels. These are both simple decks. Now, I'm not going to pretend magnet's good, right? Just set aside that. I'm explaining it's a combo deck, and it's easy to explain. You know what, I'm going to stick with dark scorpions. Dark scorpions are simple. You get Don Saluk in your hand, you summon him, you activate the skill, and you summon 2 other ones. You just read the skill and it tells you what has to happen. One's got to come from your hand, one's got to come from your deck, and they got to have different names. Done. That's it. Super easy. And then you just go, and then you just attack directly and trigger their effects. That's it. There is nothing wrong with this. Okay? Speed is not a stupid game. It's not bitch baby Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's simpler. Okay? It's just simpler because we don't have a 15-step combo to get to an end board. Because we've gone to old Yu-Gi-Oh! Where if you are building a castle, you are doing it over the course of several turns while your opponent is desperately trying to stop you from doing so. So you are building the castle, and they are tearing the castle down. That is how Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay went for a long time, if you were building a castle. Because you weren't always doing that. Sometimes you're just doing the leaning into the one-for-one trades. Sometimes you're just going for a hard control plan, which is particularly good at tearing down castles. And then another one where you just go, I'm going to play Dark Gaia OTK, and I'm going to go, do you have the thing to stop me from killing you with a 7,500 attack or 6,400 attack dumbass right now, who is immune to targeting? Yes or no? Nope, cool, I win. You do? Well, shit. Dark Calling, I make a second one. Can you stop that one? Yes, fuck. That's it. Like, some people are fine with that. There's nothing wrong with that shit. Okay? This has gone on long enough. My point is Speed Duels is not dead. Calm the fuck down. It is also not stopping you from getting Rush Duels. Those are 2 completely different fucking games. Everybody relax. I would be more concerned by the fact that the EU does not currently have a YCS. With that being said, I don't know, fucking go play Speed Duels, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. It's actually a lot of fun. Go play it. It's cheaper than shit.